All right, guys. Whoa, hold on a second, guys. I gotta mute that. I have an echo going.
It's actually really good practice to play really loud music several times during your stream. I found that out the other night. I didn't lose like 40 or 50 viewers. It's great.
No. It's yeah. Recipe for success.
Anyway, so wanted to get together because Mike, Fox, Kristen. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we don't make enough Arcade1Up content.
I'm sorry. What is Arcade1Up? I don't understand.
Yeah, we really need to accelerate the speed in which we release Arcade1Up videos.
I thought this was about pinball. I'm getting the fuck out of
Is this
here.
is this
Not
is this a
a
meeting?
pinball
Is this
stream.
a
Take your
meeting
notes
with
down.
Arcade1Up?
Just
Take your notes now. All joking aside. Honestly, Arcade1Up. Back in what, February? So when did Fast and Furious come out? It was February, right?
Yeah,
it
about
was a
then.
dark day.
Right. It was a dark day.
People like it, Fox. You don't.
So they,
People that love it. They love it.
Yeah.
Have a lot of fun.
People.
and what's interesting is since then, for like the last about 5 months, they've been like quiet. Like they promised to be more transparent, provide more information, give us more updates and things. And they kind of did a few shows, letting us know, hey, you got a firmware update or something happening, right? But then it just kind of disappeared, right? So there's been no news. A lot of people have been wondering, like, what the heck is going on with this company? And in the last, 2 weeks or so, we've had a number of cabinets either announced or leaked. And the question is what they're doing to carry them through to the end of the year? Is this what you would call a comeback? Are we going to be feeling better about Arcade1Up by the end of the year, or is this put them in a bad position heading into 2024? That kind of stuff. So that's kind of the discussion I wanted to have tonight, as well as go over some of these cabinets individually. Mike,
That's a loaded question, right?
What do you mean it's a loaded question?
So far this year, what they're doing from a business perspective makes a lot of sense. I mean, they're not investing money into R&D with creating new games. They're putting out titles that the retailers are comfortable with buying because that's who they sell to, the retailers, not to the end consumer. And they're trying to expand their user base. Apparently, the cabs are selling well. There's been very limited new IPs, stuff that they've been working on for years are finally coming out. So we got Fast and the Furious, which anybody who bought it except for Fox seems to really like. And then we're also going to get Time Crisis at some point, which is something we know they've been working on for years. There's lots of re-releases. They look a lot better. They have a better form factor, but so from a business standpoint, they're probably going to do really well this year, because they don't have a lot of the expenses they typically have in other years. But here's the other side of it. What do the core fans think? The core fans seem pretty annoyed. They seem pretty annoyed with all the re-releases. Let's be honest, how many times do you want to buy the same cab, even if it is a better form factor? And then they're waiting for new IPs, and maybe the IPs that came out weren't necessarily what they wanted. I mean, Fast and the Furious, again, everybody who bought it seemed to really like it except for Fox. But, I mean, every time Arcade1Up releases a racing cab, the first question comes out is, why wasn't this Daytona? Why wasn't this Sega Rally, right? So, I mean, it's not like they're releasing the top games that people wanted. So I think core community, I don't see them being much happier by the end of the year. Who knows? Maybe there's a big surprise coming up with a first party title we don't know about. That's a brand new IP. But I don't see it being a big year where the core fan base are like, Arcade1Up is killing it. I do think that it's going to be a very successful year for them financially. And maybe next year they'll do better stuff.
Interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have Steps here. Kristen
Hey.
Steps from Steps Gaming. Welcome to the broadcast. Haven't had you on in a while. Figured I'd get you on here. Definitely want to hear your thoughts. I noticed you're wearing an Arcade1Up hat. So what's going on with that?
I saw that it was an Arcade1Up stream. So I was like, here's my opportunity to wear the hat that Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Ranger, gave me. So I appreciate him and I appreciate the hat. So I thought, good opportunity to wear it, right? And so I I think that if you asked me this question 2 weeks ago, it would have been more doom and gloom than it is today.
The Titanic hit the iceberg kind of thing.
And it's going excellent, but I do think that the Time Crisis looks a lot better than I thought it would. It was definitely a step in the right direction. That's an improvement.
Mhm.
They're going to release those core titles no matter what because that's what keeps them open for business. They do make decisions I think are questionable to the core fan base, but who is their audience? That's the question. And that's the question I have on my mind. Are they targeting us core fans, or are they targeting more casuals? Are the casuals more important? And I think they see the casual base as a larger
Restalgia said this once, and Restalgia has a lot of experience. Like, he once talked to a guy who works for Microsoft, so now he puts on his resume he was the CEO, and he used to sell phones at Walmart, so he was also the CEO of Walmart. And he indicated, he actually did work for At Games, that you do want to focus on your core audience, but your core audience really makes up about 10% of your actual people you're selling to. So, I mean, 100%. Every company is going to be trying to grow, going to be trying to go for a more casual audience, and sometimes it upsets the core fan base, and that's been happening a lot the last little while.
Before 19K Fox jumps in the conversation here, quick shout out. Headshake TV is here. My apologies, I could not meet you when you were in Arizona earlier this week, Saturday, Sunday, whatever day it was, but I'll definitely get you next time you're in town, my friend. My apologies for that. Also, was the Time Crisis pick verified? Yes, it is verified. It is a real pick. And that is, I guess, what it's going to look like when it comes out. And big shout out to one of our community favorites, Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Ranger. He gave us a $5 super chat. Hey, everyone. What's up? Love you guys. And cheers, Fox. Fox, are you drinking tonight?
Every night. It's called a problem.
So, if there's one thing I didn't really want to do is these videos when people do a super chat. But I was
It's
thinking,
so passe.
But I was thinking, wouldn't it be really cool if you've been following this channel for a while? I was like, well, what can I do that's different? Fox, you're playing movie clips. I'm sorry, not movie clips, game clips of like
finishing moves,
finishing moves and things. Michael B. the Game Genie has about 5,000 different videos, and they all say pinball money.
I'm working on that. They all do say pinball money, all of them.
So I was thinking, what I could do is, what is one thing I'm known for? What do you guys think I could do that's different than everybody else?
I was thinking about doing diabetes money.
That's a real thing, honestly. Diabetes, like honestly,
I'm type 1, so and my daughter is too. So
yeah, it's just basically you go to the doctor when your child is young, and they say your child has diabetes, and you're like, excellent, I'll live in poverty for the rest of my life.
I can't think of anything more fun than referencing diabetes.
Yeah. So I was thinking, I got all these characters that we've had on the show. We've had Darkwing Dubs, we've had Macho Dubs, we've had who else have we had? Dub Zero, you know what I mean? So we're probably going to introduce those guys in some future super chat thank you videos, but we'll keep them to like 5 seconds at the most so we can keep the show going. But I don't have them ready tonight, but just so you know, that'll be funny. We'll have T-Roll come on the show. We'll have T-Roll make a cameo.
I have a feeling
this is so goddamn lame. You don't have the videos ready. You're doing a pre-announcement.
I'm letting people know. I want people to save their money. They got to save their money, Michael B. They want to budget it. You know what I mean?
Give them something to look forward to, baby. Little taste, little tease.
I don't care. Like, I don't know. I mean, I usually don't do it. I just say thank you and I read the comments and respond. But if you guys don't want me to do that, I won't do it. But I thought it'd be kind of funny.
It's not that we don't want you to do it.
I have all my costumes.
I mean, like, it's kind of scummy copying off like a fellow YouTuber, like coming up with
a video. Who does that?
It's
ridiculous.
I'm not like 50 other people are
the
doing
lowest
it.
of the low.
Is it copied or is it inspired by? Is it copied or is it inspired by?
I don't know. Everybody gets so.
I love this. Or everyone just stops doing them.
I'm going to do more now, Charlie. More. And I'm going to send them directly to your messenger.
Now your entire show will just be that.
I think everyone should realize you don't complain about YouTube to Mike because whatever you don't like, he'll give you more of, like mid-roll ads.
One super chat equals 1 hour of clips.
Oh yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I had like a majority of my audience all were just like, ban Zohar now. He's ruining the show, and I made him a moderator. I was like, screw you guys.
You did do that. You did do that. All right, Fox, why don't you try and answer the initial question if you can even remember what it was? Do you just initial gut reaction? You think Arcade1Up's making a comeback with what they've announced coming soon, as well as what they've leaked, or is this approaching a nuclear disaster? What do you think, Matt?
It depends on how you measure or define comeback. I mean, if you're talking about volume, no. If you're talking about variety of cabinets, no. I think the desert, the drought of releases is making this seem like it's a resurgence, it's a revival. Well, it's really just been like 7 months of blah. You know, we've had one new release, new title. It has had mixed reviews. I'll say that. I know that people like it, but
it has a 98% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
This is not Rotten Tomatoes. No, I'm the audience score, and I'm at a nice 0. But I think we've had one new release. We've had, I think we had a great introduction of the deluxes. I think that's the way to do it. Nice low price point. Come in with the legacies. It's something that's tried and true.
Yeah, nice low price point. $6.99,
$4.99, $4.99. But it's. I think that they're if they can roll about 4 or 5 cabinets out, at least half of those need to be new titles. They'll get sort of back on the horse or back on track. But I don't think this is a comeback. They're just trying to realign with where they should be, in my opinion.
Okay. So what do you guys think of, let's kind of go through some of these individual arcades. We'll start with one. It's not really an arcade, but it's something coming soon. It's the Wheel of Fortune Casino-cade. Kristen Steps from Steps Gaming. For those who joined late, make sure you check out Steps Gaming on YouTube. She just crossed 1,000 some subscribers, right? You're at like 1,200 something?
I'm at 1,500 now because
Shit!
I had a short that went viral and I keep getting subs. It doesn't stop. So I'm just going to let this short roll.
Just let it ride, man.
Yeah, let it
Absolutely.
ride. But
what are your thoughts on that
about the Casino-cade? Yes. So I think on paper, the Casino-cade's an amazing idea. And I actually like the slot machines they kind of teased originally during that leak, because I thought that those, not that I want one, but I thought that those would sell really well on QVC because it would have a price point that a lot of people on QVC would love. And I think the target audience of that is that age group, and I think that they would do really well. The big Casino-cade itself, I think, is a little bit harder sell, but I do think it will have its fans. I don't know if it's going to sell Pac-Man numbers by any means at all, but there are definitely some people that like that type of thing. They like playing card games. They like playing slot games. So I think the larger one is a little bit more of a risk than the smaller ones, actually. But I do think it'll sell. It'll sell okay if they could get it into the right people's hands. Because I don't think that people like us per se are interested in, though some of us may be. I just think it's going to be, that demographic that's outside of their normal. And it's going to be interesting to see the numbers with the Casino-cade. But I do think it looks like an iArcade, which
it's kind of funny. Yeah, it's kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
You got Jay's Chaotic Carnival Dreams. He thinks it would have done better as a partycade or a countercade. What do you think, Fox? Would you agree with that?
This is a weird one, right? It's when you acknowledge you're not the target audience, how do you rate this thing? How do you give advice towards it? I think that Steps is right. The mechanic of the lever would have made a little more sense, because when you're talking about this particular model, it's a 10-inch screen with another little 8-inch screen above it, and it's got flashy lights and it's got some buttons. And how is this different than an iPad? This is an iPad you have to stand up to interact with, and I don't see the appeal, but I do see the appeal in having a variety in your arcade, your man cave, whatever. If this would have been a claw machine, my reaction would probably be much different. But I don't know. Is this going to be something you're going to want to stand in front of and hit the food pedal and get your food pellet out of here. I don't know. I'm really at a loss for this one. I don't want to be too negative because I'm sure there's somebody that does like it. I hope there's somebody that likes it because, like Mike always says, I hope they sell a ton of them so they can make something that I like.
That's true. You know, that Kith collab, it kind of shocked me when, who was it? Was that you, Fox, who said that they sold 225 units?
Yes.
How much per unit?
$1,000 after tax. I think it was
So-
$895, and then you have shipping costs and you have tax. I think
Yeah.
the taxes alone were like $77.
Oh, don't
Sweet.
worry, guys. If you have missed out on it and you want to get in on it, B has one for sale in Torrance, California. Just hit B up. It's slightly marked up, so
Just a little bit, yeah.
who for anyone who's new, who is B again?
Kongs are us. Kongs are us.
I think that those are going to sell regardless, just because they say they're limited. Some people aren't even going to open them. They're just like, I'm buying that. It's limited. They don't care.
Yeah.
So like when I talked about my opinion of it, I said this is what I don't like about it, but they're going to all sell out, so it don't matter anyway.
Yeah, our opinions don't really matter.
Yeah.
We're just gatekeeping.
Yeah,
The
actually,
code
That's what some
is-
people say.
You hit pound 7620, and that's the key to the gate.
Oh my goodness. Real quick, guys, let me grab this. Galaga Guy 88, $5. Hello, PDubs. The Dick Tracy video. So awesome, man. Thank you so much. I feel so honored you made a video like that dedicated to me. It made my year. Well, you are most welcome, sir. You gave us a super chat saying, hey, could you make that video? I finally came through, made the video, and nobody watched it. But that's okay because I knew it was for you, my friend. So I'm happy you enjoyed it. I'm happy
you can pay him back in Cleveland.
So I put a poll in chat. I was like, hey, is this casino okay to win? No, 78%. Yes, 21%, according to the viewers of this broadcast right now.
Oh, I never got to say my opinion on it. Can I share mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So my opinion is this isn't for me, but I hope they sell a ton of them. So it gives Arcade1Up a bunch of money so they can do stuff
Yeah.
I might be interested in later.
Yeah, and that's when we pivoted and I started asking Fox about the Kith cap, because that's not for us either.
No.
But if you think about the numbers, if they made a couple $100,000 off that machine
Oh,
and
yeah.
can dump that into development of something cool, I guess it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, let them sell that stuff. Like, you didn't see me complaining about it. I'm not here to buy it.
So
Who cares?
Can we sidetrack just a little bit? Because Fox
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
mentioned this. John D actually posted on Twitter. He was surprised by the reception that the Kith collab got from maybe some of the hardcore fans, that they were so upset about it. And again, my opinion is if something I don't like, I don't care. I want things to be more arcade recreations than I do that. But it looks nice. I'm sure it's going to sell well. There's nothing wrong with branching out your audience. But I think some of the hardcore fans, you got to remember what this year has been. Like, there hasn't been a lot of releases. So when something comes out, it's going to rub people the wrong way if it's something they don't like, whether that's right or wrong. And there's also a concern, man. Like, if you look at it the past year, like they did NFL Blitz and they decided to get creative with the artwork. They did Yoga Flame and they decided to get creative with the artwork. So I think there's some people in the audience that are concerned that if it is successful, Arcade1Up might just say, hey, we don't need to recreate arcades. Let's just get some random art. Like, it's all about looking cool. So, I think some of those things are out there, and maybe that's why people get upset about it. But there's no need to be upset.
I guess, but wouldn't maybe I'm in the minority. I'm not sure, but I think this is probably the best received collab cab that they've actually produced.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think there was a lot of positive response. Most of us didn't like the marquee, but for the most part, it was the price that really got us.
No. See, you got swept up in the B Kong stuff because B Kong was like, hey, fellas, this looks really good. And then
Somebody
every time
said-
someone said, I actually don't like it, B was like, I think you're wrong. I think it's really good.
He's
John, what do you
great.
think? Oh, John tells me to tell you it looks really good.
I think this is going to be the first time I probably ever make this argument, was that my point on it was that, like, yeah, it looks fine. It looked good. I wanted it to be more about the arcade titles, though. The cabinet wasn't about the arcade titles at all.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
It
and
wasn't.
then they tried to say that Beast is in the Super Nintendo game. Well, you know,
So if I on my show we talked about the reason why they went with that style. It was the 1991 comic. It was the big re-release. It kicked off that awesome 90s cartoon that we all loved back in the day, and that's what they were referencing. Not so much the game, but that side art is part of a much bigger piece of art, and they could have used characters that were actually in the game that would have actually looked better than Beast anyway. They could have had Magneto on the other side.
Yeah,
that would
have
look
been
sick.
I
That would
saw
look
you
great.
say that. I'd agree with that too.
Yeah.
The other problem I had with it is that they really haven't even completely. Well, they haven't fixed the cabinet as far as the gameplay online.
Yeah, it's the same cabinet. Right.
It's and that's
There's an
what bothered
there's
me.
an update coming out Thursday that's going to improve the experience and also get you off the one level. So
it'll be 2 levels, or
I don't know.
NBC
I have no idea. I just know there's an update coming out Thursday.
NBC 2.
NBC
Yes,
2.
NBC
Yeah.
2.
There's
He's
a
gonna get a
update coming
firmware
out
update?
Thursday. Yeah,
Oh, that's
BED reported it earlier. Make sure your cabs are on Thursday night. I'm not joking. Check his community thing.
I saw TechBuzz put a post up about it. So, but either way, yeah, I guess they're going to do a firmware update. Hopefully, it fixes whatever is going on with that machine. I don't own one. I've never touched it, so I don't know.
I actually got a question in one of my videos the other day. They were like, "How come you've never done a review on Marvel versus Capcom 2?" And I'm just going to be honest with you. I bought it. I was going to do a live stream. I have a thumbnail ready to go because everybody knows when I buy a new cab, I do my live gameplay first, and then I do the review afterwards. But I was waiting for the online to work, and it took so long that it hit that point where I was selling my games, and my buddy Mike Dalton, who owns every single iArcade cabinet, even some of the ones that iArcade didn't even have in the end, he wanted to buy it from me, so I just let it go. It just took too long for them to get stuff out for it for me to make content on it. The truth is.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you pick up stuff and you'd like to make some content on. Sometimes you do. Like, I've reviewed products that have been out for over a year, but you walk in knowing that your video is probably not going to perform that well because it's not new
Current,
content or fresh. You know what I mean?
Chris.
So it's up to you if you want to do that stuff or not. There have been plenty of times like Mike where I've passed on making videos because I'm like, I missed it. Like, I missed, like, at this point, no one will watch it. So I get what you're saying, man. I get what you're saying.
Well, I didn't want to do anything on it until it was fully operational. I didn't feel like doing an in-progress review, right?
But honestly, my advice would be different. My advice would be, if you guys are in this community long enough, and if you've owned products from all these companies, whether it was iArcade, AtGames, or Arcade1Up, they have all released firmwares that have had issues with them. So honestly, if it was me, if I owned this arcade, I wouldn't. I would wait. I would wait to see what everyone else says who updates. Do they report anything crazy? Are their machines okay? Is everything running? And then I would update myself personally. But that's just me personally. You guys do what you want if you own that arcade. It's just we've had a history of a bunch of all three companies. All three companies have pushed out updates that just made things worse. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Can I ask you a different question? Like, if you were making videos on how to mod the PlayStation Classic, would you suggest doing it annually or semi-annually? How would you do it?
Monthly, I think.
Annually seems to be the way to go.
Okay.
I'm still waiting on my 2023 PlayStation Classic video. I know it's coming.
Fingers crossed.
Well, I guess here's a question, because we were talking about, we're just talking about how the MVC2 didn't work fully online it didn't work online at all for 6 months, and then for the last 3 months or however long it's been like it is, and then you had the issues with Blitz and things like that last year. So I almost think that's how this podcast here tonight became a thing, is Arcade1Up making a comeback, because it was things like that happened, and then Fast and Furious and whatever that have got us wondering what's next.
Let's be clear here. Fast and Furious, 98% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's not accurate.
Rotten Tomatoes. Well, I think we spent enough time on the casino. Okay, let's get to some of the more interesting stuff. So, and apologies, guys. The streaming software I'm using, they reported they're having some server issues. So sometimes when I go to change screens, it looks a little fuzzy. I got to take it off, put it back on, and hopefully it clears up. So apologies for that. But taking a look here, guys, Big Buck Hunter Pro Deluxe. I already put the poll in the live chat a few minutes ago. Again, the community, this is your show. I got the live chat on the screen for the entire show. We want your feedback. What do you guys think? Is this a win for Arcade1Up? Is this something they should be pursuing? Is this something you're going to buy? All that stuff. Let's go with Steps again. Steps, I
Yeah.
want to make sure you get involved here tonight. What are your initial thoughts to a Big Buck Hunter Pro?
I wish it was an XL. Like honestly, like if you're playing a gun game, you want that bigger screen. And so like when you're redoing Big Buck Hunter, you're saying we're
Mhm.
going to take this cabinet that everybody loved and we're going to make it better. Well,
Mhm.
you really want to see that bigger screen, you know? I mean, I guess it has a coin door and it's riserless, but like does it give anybody that has a Buck Hunter currently a reason to buy another one? Plus,
In my opinion, no, but other people may disagree with me. What do you guys think?
Steps said a lot of the really smart things there. I mean, like for me, what the obvious move was where they made Golden Tee last year. I figured the XL cabs were kind of focusing on like Burr and what do you call them? People who have the home bars reminisce about going to the bars in college and stuff like that. And Buck Hunter and Golden Tee are those games. So I figured this would be a very sensible move for an XL. Plus, all the people complaining about how small the screen was, the increase to the 19-inch screen just makes sense.
Mhm.
As for them coming out with a new version of this, they did correct one huge problem with it. I missed it on my initial video, but cabinet's about 8 inches taller.
Mhm.
Anybody who's played the original, you know how low this
Mhm.
sits to the ground. It was ridiculous. Like, honestly, this was like a
Yeah.
baby cade in comparison to the other arcades. So the additional 8 inches are going to make a huge difference for comfort playing. My one knock on this is I just don't know how they didn't put a light up marquee on this. I mean, there's no reason. They know that the light up marquee is not going to impact the gameplay. It has to be a cost cutting measure that they just didn't
Yeah.
want to revisit it. I don't know why anybody would buy an Arcade1Up this day and time at full price that doesn't have a light up marquee. So I think there's a lot of good things with it. You can get a retro 530 marquee. It's going to cost you some money, but yeah, that's the one I'm fascinated by. No light up marquee.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, my buddy Vern, who lives down the street from me, he has the original Buck Hunter, and I've played it at his house. But we have to sit down in a chair stool to play, and I'm 5'11", and Vern is about 5'10". So I can only imagine people who are well over 6 foot who approach that thing were like, "What the heck? How do I play this thing?" Right? With this being 8 inches taller, that problem kind of goes away a little bit, I suppose. But still, man, we're talking. If you already own it, should you spend the money and upgrade? I don't think so personally. I think this is more for someone who's going to buy it the first time. But Fox, what do you think, man?
I think Mike said a lot of smart things here. Really did. let me just cut right
love
to the
it.
chase.
I love
There's no reason to buy this cab. This is the most offensive release by Arcade1Up yet. They've done almost nothing to this cab. There's no reason under God's green earth to buy this. The lack of effort put into this is it is offensive. It's astonishing. No LED marquee, no 19-inch monitor. To make it a little bit taller and add a faux coin door is just an insult to the community. And I won't stand for it. I won't stand by it. And also, Fast and the Furious sucks.
98%
Yeah.
approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's all false. Those reviews are bought and paid for. I think it's a missed opportunity. You could have gone XL.
Yeah.
You could have gone with a really cool lip marquee. You could have done something. But if you run down the list of reasons why you would buy it, there's just nothing. There's really nothing there. Especially if you've already got the original. I'm sure you've got like a booster. You've already got it up a little higher. So.
Well, how many people are waiting? They're like, "Oh, I like Big Buck Hunter. I want it, but I'm waiting for them to make the bigger version like they did the Golden Tee." I bet you there was a lot of people
I think everybody
that were thinking that.
Yeah.
So let's clarify here. Who does Arcade1Up sell to? The end user or to the stores?
Stores,
They sell to me
probably.
personally.
The
They sell it to the
retailers.
stores. So Big Buck Hunter was a popular cab that sold well. They just wanted to get another model out there without putting too much money into it so they could sell them to the stores and make their money.
Do you think that this is a cementing of the relationship between them and Raw Thrills?
I just think that they already had a game ready to go that retailers
Yeah.
were ready to buy, and they were like, put some money in my hand. Do it, little man.
Now, if you're just
Good point.
tuning in, guys, do me a favor. Don't go anywhere, because if Arcade1Up is not making a comeback, you, the viewers, are going to tell us how they can make a comeback. So your opinion matters. Don't go anywhere. This is all building to something, everybody. So, but that's what's going on with that one. Steps, any final thoughts on Buck?
I pretty much, what I said. Then the Lit Marquee, I failed to mention that, but Michael B did. And yeah, so I think we're good.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. What about this Arcade1Up NBA Jam 30th Anniversary Deluxe? Again, another remake of a game they released before at a pretty high price tag, but it is a deluxe version. Michael B, thoughts on this? Is this part of the comeback plan?
It's missing that Shaq branding. I mean, nothing really sells me on buying an arcade like having a giant white silhouette of Shaq all over.
If only, huh?
Yeah. No, listen, man, this is another one. NBA Jam sold really well for them. It's 30th anniversary. Retailers are going to pick it up. It's a much better form factor. It's got that slanted control panel from Blitz we all love. They said something about maybe improved joysticks. Might even have the optical joysticks from Blitz. Who knows? It's got that new form factor. I don't know. Like, it's fine. Am I going to buy another copy of Blitz? No, I got Shaq Jam, man. And I'm going to put a new screen in it. But hopefully it does well. I'm
honestly still enjoying my original Arcade1Up NBA Jam. It's the only 4-player one that I've kept, and I've kept it for a very long time. I sold Blitz a while ago because I was disappointed. It wasn't the Blitz I wanted it to be, and I'm happy with that. So I'm not going to be upgrading to this. Maybe some other people will in the live chat or out there in the community. I don't know. Fox, what are your thoughts on NBA Jam Deluxe?
Well, they screwed this whole thing up. I mean, the 3/4 NBA Jam cabinet was the most pimped out cab to date. I mean, it blew everything else out of the water. It had the lit deck protector. There was versions that had I don't know if they had lit buttons, but they had stools. They had everything, right? They had the Wi-Fi. This was like one of the first cabs that have, or the first that had the Wi-Fi and the online play. You already got everything you wanted out of that first 3/4 scale. Really, there were several different configurations. I do love this form factor. It's just a damn shame that we didn't get TMNT or X-Men or even Simpsons in this form factor. I think that would have been much better. Of course, you got to do Simpsons without the damn bowling game. I think at this point, it's just market saturation. They just had a giant sale on Shaq Jam. I think the people that were sort of on the fence probably jumped on that like I did. So it's, while I love the form factor, this is a great looking cab. I really like it. There's just zero reason for me to buy this. And then also you got to, it's like, what price is it going to be today? Who knows?
Really quickly, Gabriel Gray is here in the chat. He's a fellow Canadian, and he's saying he would buy it. You're assuming we're going to get it. Because I'm going to tell you,
don't break his
we
heart.
get
Gabriel's a great guy,
man.
We love Gabriel. He's a great guy. Don't break his heart, Mike.
I know.
Gabriel,
I'm just a little shook by what I'm.
Well,
I
I think you're justified, buddy.
All right, I'm going to give my opinion if that's okay.
No, actually, you're out on this one. Can we move on?
This is the line in the sand.
All right, whatever, Michael B.
You can't comment on NBA Jam.
So here's the thing: I've played the NBA Jam. I don't currently have an NBA Jam, and looking at it, I like the looks of it. But see, I when I first announced it, I thought it was kind of a step back because we went to the XL, and now we're going back to Deluxe. And how much was the Shaq Jam? About the same price?
$6.99, I think it retailed for.
$6.99,
and it was just on sale for $3.99 at Best Buy.
Yeah.
$3.99. Yeah.
Well, one guy had it on Walmart for $200. So
yeah,
that guy, he got a steal.
Yeah. So the only problem was that the monitor that was 19 inches was a TN monitor, from what I understand. So That was a bummer. But
Yeah.
I wish they had that form factor that they have right there that you just showed us with the 19-inch screen. That would be
Yes.
be great.
That would have been nice if all these deluxes had a 19-inch screen. I agree. But they all the deluxes still have a 17, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
What's a Deluxe Pro have? There was something that was Deluxe Pro.
No,
There's no such thing as the Deluxe
the
Pro.
Deluxe-
There's the
the
Pro
Deluxe-
Deluxe.
It's the
or
Deluxe
Big
The
Plus.
Pro
Buck
Deluxe.
Pro.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
The Deluxe Plus is going to have a 18-inch screen.
I'm just waiting for the Deluxe ribbed for her pleasure. Man, that's what I'm going for.
We're all waiting for that one, Mike.
All right. So once again, this is 3 in a row. We've asked, are these products a win? Again, this is a broadcast where we're trying to get the community's response as to what they think about this stuff, what's happening. And this is the 3rd one in a row that they've said is not a win. So that's not looking too good if I was Arcade1Up. But let's talk about a couple. Actually, the only one we have left to talk about is the XL Pac-Man, right?
Yep.
All right. And Time Crisis.
Yeah.
All right. So XL Pac-Man, Mike, you were the one who dropped the news on this. You want to share that with everybody?
Well, I'm starting to question whether or not it's real because
It's
the
a
picture that
fake
was sent
picture,
to me,
Mike. I'm telling you.
the picture
Wait,
that was
wait,
sent to me had nothing in the background. Like, I
Doesn't
don't
look-
know if I
doesn't
can
look
trust
real
that.
at
Was
all.
this sent to you by that Walmart guy?
No, it was sent to me by somebody that was at the Seattle Costco in Messenger. I don't know why he took it out. I guess he thought I was going to put it in the thumbnail or something. He thought I was doing him a favor.
Maybe he works
Maybe he
there
didn't-
and wants to keep his job.
Yeah, I don't know, but he
possible.
took everything out. So that's what I put up, and everybody was like totally fake, and everybody started saying
He
it's a
wrote that
deluxe
price with
cab.
crayon.
Yeah. Anyways, like I've been very adamant about this. Like ever since I got the first XL cabs, I love the size. I love the form factor. I think this is what Arcade1Up should have been all along. 19-inch screen, really, really good ad. I love all my big cabs, and I was really excited. I was like, I'm going to be all over this. I know most people are shitty about Pac-Man, but I love this. I definitely wanted a bigger XL Pac-Man.
Yeah.
So I was a big fan. Unfortunately, it's not coming to Canada. So I don't know what to say.
Dude, there is a pretty decent presence of arcade or home arcade, niche home arcade customers in Canada. And it sounds like distribution there is just dwindled to nothing.
Yeah, it's not Arcade1Up's fault. It's the distributor, straightforward sales. They're just really limiting what they're taking in this year. I don't think last year's stock sold as well as they hoped, and maybe they overstocked some.
I think you're
really
maybe
dumb
maybe,
stuff.
I don't know that you're placing the correct blame on the correct source. I think it's your
Oh, wait.
communist government that doesn't want you to have
Yes.
fun.
Wait. TechBuzz may have solved your problem,
Oh.
Mike. You're coming to the States in September.
Excellent. I can go to Costco, I can buy the box, and then I can go to UPS and say, how much does this cost to ship to Newfoundland? And they'll say
$8,000.
$700.
Do you have a
Well, if you
Costco
wanted-
membership?
Super
If you wanted
chats.
that bad.
Shipping super chats. That's what
All
you
right.
want.
So if you notice, guys, on here is a SKU number, which is nice that they included that in the pick. It's 1740611 is the SKU. So, when this thing came out and Mike did a video on it, all of a sudden I saw some people saying it's fake. It looks fake. I don't think it's real. So let's get that off the screen here.
Wait, it has this countries it's coming to right there on the tag. It says Canada.
Yeah, which is
New Zealand,
interesting.
Sweden.
Are there Costco's in these countries?
I mean,
have
if the
no idea.
Swedes can get it, why can't the Canadians? It's
I don't
ridiculous.
know. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I confirmed it is a
Yeah.
U.S. Costco exclusive. So
Yeah. So I literally took 5 minutes
Damn
out of my
sure.
life and I called the 3 nearest Costco's to me, and all 3. You call Costco, you get the automated system, you press 1 for all the stores. They give you to the admin department. You say, hey, I want to look up a product. Here's the SKU. You give them the SKU. All 3 of them told me the same thing. It's an Arcade1Up Pac-Man XL, and we're going to have it in stock in September, is what they said. One store said September 5th. Another store said September 27th. Another store said September 15th. So they're all going to get it sometime in September. So it is a real thing. It is happening. It's not a fake thing, so that's good to see because this community's gotten trolled by fake leaks in the past. So I understand the skepticism. I myself got rickrolled when someone leaked a Virtua Fighter Arcade1Up.
Oh, that was a long time
And
ago.
I fell for it. You guys remember? I made a video for it. I was like, Virtua Fighter's coming because I like Virtua Fighter.
Love
And
Virtua
sure
Fighter.
enough, that was fake. That was fake. Someone got me on Reddit there. That was pretty funny. But either way, Fox, what do you think about Pac-Man XL? Never mind that Canadians won't be able to get it, but what about us Americans?
No one cares about the Canadians. I mean, come on. This is the one Pac-Man release I was actually excited for. I'm going to get this cap. I want one Pac-Man to, like one ring to rule them all. This is the one cabinet to rule them all, and then I'm done. I don't care what they do. I don't care what Pac-Man comes out. I'm good because this is the one I want.
This would be the definitive Pac-Man, in your opinion?
It's good enough for me. Nah, it's good enough for me. Whatever Arcade1Up can spit out, this is probably the best they're going to do. I'm sure they'll have a pro, whatever the hell that is. But the interest for me really is going to be the monitor. Is it a BOE? Is it true IPS? Is it going to have bad, crazy viewing angles? So that's reason enough to get it, I think. Remember, this is going to be the first XL that supposedly has a good screen in it. And in my mind, this is the Pac-Man to end all Pac-Mans.
Okay. What about you, Steps?
I think it's a good idea. I think I'm almost like, why did they come out with the Deluxe if now they're doing the XL? But I guess they could sell both. So, but I think that if I was going to get a Pac-Man, that would be the Pac-Man. I'm kind of wondering their choice of the light up buttons. But, if you go into Costco, maybe some kid sees it and they want the light up buttons and buy it. So that may grab some attention. So, but if I was going to have a Pac-Man, I think that would be the Pac-Man. So I think that they're on the money with that.
I gotcha. Michael B., despite the lack of availability, if this thing was available in Canada, would this be on your list? I know you're a big fan of the XL form factor.
Yeah, 100%. When I saw this, when I got the picture, I was so excited. I've been so bummed out since I found out I can't get it. This 100% would have been coming home. I'm literally frustrated. Sucks. But I will say one thing about this. If I was an Arcade1Up fan for a long time, which I have been, and I had big problems with the buttons, and the response from Arcade1Up has constantly been, we can't spend extra money on getting better buttons, but you can spend extra money on getting fucking light up buttons.
An outright useless feature.
Yeah.
They suck, but they light up. So
if I just bought a Pac-Man, what is it? The Pac-Man Deluxe? Is it Deluxe that came out this year?
Yeah, it's Deluxe, exactly.
If I just bought the Pac-Man Deluxe and also had a Costco membership, which I do, in my wallet, I would be a very, very upset person. You know what I mean? Because you buy it not knowing that probably a better version for only $100 more would be coming later. I would be very, very furious.
Well, I think what this does for you, and Arcade1Up is providing this service to us, and I for one am incredibly grateful. This gives you the opportunity to buy Pac-Man 3 or 4 times a year, and I just think that, I mean, listen, that's worth the price of admission.
And the game hasn't changed since 1980.
This time it's a little bit bigger.
Now, I'm going to end the poll here. Now, in all the polls we've done, ladies and gentlemen, all these polls we've done, every product was a no. People in our audience right now live said none of these are a win, but this one was a yes. 62% of the audience said this is a win. So let me ask this to you guys. Why do you think the community likes this more than the others?
Because bigger is better.
Even though this is technically a remake,
bigger is better. Bigger is better.
Bigger is better.
People want a 19-inch monitor. It's pretty clear.
This is the true 3/4 scale. When compared to a real cabinet, this is an actual 3/4 version of a real cabinet. So it can fit within the real cabinet you may have in your house. So
okay.
Ish.
Do any of you have a photo of the Time Crisis leak? Do any of you have it? I don't have the right photo or a photo.
I'm sure you could source one from our group chat.
Takes forever to search.
More than one, actually.
Yeah, if one of
let me work
Fox,
on that. I'll get that. Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, what I'll have, I'm going to give you the newest leak and then the original leak, so we can do a comparison.
Wait. Okay.
No. The original and the newest approved.
Oh, are you talking about the original that got released on Reddit like a year ago?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
I think I've had a couple comments on my video, and I think there's some stuff we can discuss here, because some people are saying it's really not changed that much. It's just a different angle.
No, that's not true.
No,
Are
it's
you
changed a
sure?
lot.
I actually,
No, I'm telling you.
I think that cab may have just got turned a little bit to the side, and they
If
changed
you
some
look side by
colors.
side, there's
All
a point to be made. Well, we can talk about it.
All right. Well, we're waiting on you, Fox. Not like we have 250 people here waiting.
Listen, they
TikTok,
are
TikTok,
they're
TikTok,
waiting with
TikTok,
bated breath.
TikTok. So I think Arcade1Up doesn't give a shit what we think. But if they actually did, if someone there actually gives a shit what we think, maybe you should think about it. Why is it that this core audience of hardcore fans of these products said yes to one,
That's
but
Pac-Man.
but no to the others? You should think about it. All right, let's pull this up from Fox here. Thanks so much, Fox. Oh,
No
look
problem.
at that. Very, very nice. Okay, so what do we got here, Fox? You lead
So
this one.
what you have is the original leak, sort of on the left-hand side. You can see the shadows, and all that. That's an actual picture. This, the one on the right-hand side, is the most current leak. This is the one from the Danish site for whatever.
Yeah.
What I've had some of my viewers say is that this is basically the same cabinet, just turned slightly.
I
I
can see what
think
you're
so.
saying now. Yeah.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And they removed the word Nameco.
They took off the word Namco. There is a little bit of a change. The side panel is shorter on the newer leak, and they changed the T molding on the front control panel. It was red in the original. Now it's yellow. So I see their point. I don't know if the dimensions are the same. It looks a little wider, but I get what they're saying.
The front panel actually looks bigger.
Yes.
Yeah.
The front panel looks like it actually comes out a little bit further, and it's a little bit more robust.
It probably does, because that original, the original arcade had a huge piece that jutted out.
Yeah. I find like with my wife, when she looks at me front on,
Yes,
she doesn't really
straight
get a
on.
full
Right.
grasp of the girth, so I got to turn
Yeah.
sideways, and
Sometimes you have
that's
to.
what's happening here.
To really reveal,
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm with you 100%.
Why'd they get rid of the Namco across the front? That was kind of cool, actually.
No idea.
I love this
Because it's
Probably costs more
Namco
money.
Bandai now, I think. Is that some kind of a branding
Yeah.
issue? I'm not sure.
Steps. So what are you thinking? Are you excited about this as their next shooting light gun cab?
For them to sell me a light gun cab, I really feel that I need an XL. I really do, because I don't want to play on a 17-inch monitor. I really don't. Like, especially with a shooting game, that the target's kind of small. But I am a lot more interested in it now than I was last year. But now you got me second guessing that by saying it's just tilted now.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's the
I think
same
it was-
crap.
I think it was. You guys know him. He's been in a lot of our shows in the live chats. Paul Minderman. I saw him comment, and he said on I think Fox's video, he said, "Fox, the arcade is just turned to the side."
did.
And I was like, "Wait a minute, is he right?" And I took a look at the photo. I was like, "Holy shit!" he might
You
be
can
right.
you can kind of gather that. Yeah.
I think it's more than that. Like, if you turn that other photo to the side, I'm 100% sure that front plate where the guns are would be a lot smaller than what we're seeing on that new photo.
Well,
Yeah.
and also they have the red gun on the left side and the blue gun on the right side, and in the other one they're reversed.
Yeah.
See,
Ooh.
see.
So this
Mm.
looks to be deluxe size or XL size. What do you think, Mike? If you had to guess, how big is this?
Well, I'll go back to the girth comment and not talk about my wang this time. So honestly, it's going to be tall and thin, and that's what we're dealing with here. It's going to be thin. So it'll be as tall as an XL cabinet, like what we saw with Terminator 2. It's just going to be very narrow.
Feel like Big Blue.
Yeah, kind of like Big Blue. Too.
Yeah.
Fox, is this going to end up in the new game room?
I think so. I mean, if the emulation is arcade accurate, if the games list is correct, if the price, and there's a lot of ifs, I know, if the price is not $7.99, I think so, because my T2 cabinet gets all the love in the arcade. I mean, as far as the Arcade1Ups go, it gets the most play out of all of them. And I'm a big sucker for Time Crisis. And I will say that Point Blank cannot be underrated. Justin and I, when I went up to Iowa to get the Star Wars cab, we played this, and it was just a ton of fun. And it reminds me of like those mini games that anybody can just walk up and play. And so this, I don't know, there's a lot here to like, but there's, like I said, there's also a lot of ifs.
Yeah, there's another game kind of similar to that. I think it's just called Bang, or maybe it's Bang Bang, and it's nothing but mini games, and it's like a shooting game. So
see, I don't want to buy a cabinet to play gun games unless I'm verified that I'm going to have to spend like $200 on a light gun, and there's only going to be 2 light gun games before the company goes out of business. That's what I'm really looking for. That's the sweet spot.
Steps Gaming, are we going to see a Time Crisis arcade potentially behind you?
I would consider it if I got a good enough price and it played well, like Fox said. But I think that there's a lot of ifs. But the great news is I have people like Fox that are willing to take the plunge and sometimes buy even 2 cabinets.
I'm here for you.
Price.
Absolutely.
and tell me whether it's good or not.
You made yourself the guinea pig on that, Fox.
I don't know if you can trust his reviews, though. Rotten Tomatoes, 98%.
You know what? Like I said, those are corporate reviews. They're not real users. There's data that supports that.
Okay. So, again, in the poll, check this out, guys. We had 3 that were a no. Pac-Man was our first yes. Will Time Crisis be a win? 68% of the audience who took the poll said yes. 31% said no. So once again, why do you think they said yes to this one compared to the others?
Because it's a new IP and it's a familiar. This is a game people wanted. Like when they announced light gun games coming to Arcade1Up, I don't think a lot of people were out the gate saying Big Buck Hunter first. I think people were saying House of the Dead, Time Crisis. Like those were 2 of the most popular games. So you have an IP that people want, and it's the first time it's being released.
Okay. So you think it's because it's new games, also potentially larger arcade cabinet? Well, at least we know.
I didn't say that at all. If you stop talking to these random people on Facebook and other things messaging you, you'd hear what I'd say. So what I said was it's not just the fact that it's a new IP. It's also a game that people requested. Like when you look at gun games, it's like the racing games again. Like there wasn't a bunch of people saying, Arcade1Up, we need Fast and the Furious, dog. It was mostly people saying we need, Daytona, we need Rush, we need Cruising. Right. But when it comes to gun games, this is right up on that upper echelon of the titles people were asking for. We want Time Crisis.
It excites me that they're doing more advanced titles with Namco, because possibly that means at some point maybe Soul Edge, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, well, everything's going to change in a couple of years now with the new board coming out that everybody's looking to use. The availability of the Rock chip just opens up so many opportunities for all these companies, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's kind of figure that. Let's look at Pac-Man and Time Crisis. What are if we could pick the 4 things that would make someone say yes, I want to buy it, and keep supporting this company? Larger arcade machine, new games. What would 2 other reasons be?
The fact that I could actually buy it, availability in Canada.
Yeah. That's
okay.
Arcade accuracy. I mean, it's pretty easy to do Pac-Man,
fuck that noise. Just put a bunch of Shaq on the side.
Yeah. How about some blurry images of random NFL players on the side? Yeah. That's what I want. I think with the Time Crisis, if this render holds true, they're trying like hell to try to mimic what we saw in the arcades. That's always a good thing. If nothing else, it looks different than the other arcades. So you feel like you're buying something new. You don't feel like you're buying a rehash. So it's once again, if you would just take more chances, and I know it's easy for me to say, I'm not putting up the money for the R&D and everything else. And to Mike's point, if we can hold off a little bit and maybe, hopefully, get this new chipset, get this new board that they're coming out with, and see what that brings us. I mean, even if they have a new board, though, there's not a lot of commercial emulators that would really run some of the titles that we really want, like the Sega Model 3, Star Wars trilogy, that kind of
Mhm.
crazy stuff. But I think that they've just scratched the surface with arcade titles that are like really, really in high demand. There's a ton of Sega stuff that they could just absolutely make a shit ton of money if they would come out with.
If
And
Sega didn't charge so much for their IPs.
if they could strike that balance, though, I
Yeah.
guarantee you, if they could put their best foot forward, I think we would buy them up, and they're also recognizable IPs that other people would also buy them up. Come out of the gate with a Star Wars trilogy, then it's like write your own check.
Yeah, that one's gonna go to the stores. Like, no problem.
No problem.
All right, guys. The most important poll is in the live chat. Which one of those things do you think personally Arcade1Up really needs to do to make a comeback and, get this community excited again, or at least those who have lost excitement, get their excitement back, things like that. Make sure you guys vote in that chat. Then we're going to tie a bow around this in just a couple of minutes.
I think they need to make sure everything is perfectly functional as much as possible. I mean, updates are a thing, but when you get the cabinet, majority of it should work. So to me, that's number one. And number two is probably be new titles.
I do agree. Like, release the stuff when it's ready, not like, hey, we're going to release it, but guess what? In 6 months, we'll give you part of those other features we promised.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, hey guys, here comes the rest. That stuff here. So there might be some shenanigans with this poll. Hopefully no one figures it out. Hopefully not. We'll see. But Fox, which one did you vote for out of these 4 options? If you had to vote for new games, larger arcades, better emulation, or product availability, what would you vote for, Fox?
I think you can't go wrong with. These are all very, very important. And in my mind, emulation goes hand in hand with new games. So I think new games is definitely the way to go. I think we've seen them reinvent the same game over and over again. So the first one out of the gate may not be a home run, but eventually they'll get there. So I think new games is the way to go.
Michael B., I'm assuming for you it might be product availability because that's like your biggest detriment right now, right?
Yeah.
Or is there another option?
Well, I mean, all of them are great picks on the list. I mean, new games. I understand the community is thirsty for new games. I'm a little bit more skeptical. I was on. I don't know if we did this after the show or if we did this during the show last night. I think it was after the show. We did a talk after game time, and Stephen Haywood asked me, he said, how come you don't do more speculation videos? I mean, you guys used to do speculation stuff on like Super Game Room Dudes and stuff like that. But you also got to understand, we've been doing this a long time now, and we have a lot more information. So we don't do speculation anymore because there's not a lot of point. We know. So like 19K Fox says, oh man, I'd love an Alien versus Predator cab. But like we know, let's break it down the reality of it. I mean, that's a title that's it's not going to happen because Arcade1Up will be hesitant to release a one game cab. And then on top of that, our retailer's going to pick it up. Like we just know this stuff right now. So like it's hard to get excited about what they could make because like we know really the science of how this all works. We've seen how the salami's made. So now we've seen how the sausage is made. Sorry,
and we're never going to be the same.
No. Yeah. So it's just
like we've been on this roller coaster for so long. Like you kind of like you can't really speculate anymore because this company at this point is very, very predictable.
We know that the box that they're in.
I'm sorry. So Fox, you said new games. Michael B said product availability because that impacts him. It's important to him in Canada.
So like, guess what, guys? Yeah. I'm not going to be reviewing any cabinets this year because I can't buy them.
Yeah.
Pinball review.
What about you, Steps?
Okay, so let's see. Product availability was one choice. New games, and what were the other two?
Better emulation and larger arcade machines.
For me, it's better emulation because I'm saying I don't want to buy something to me that's a lot of money and not have it work. That really, really ruins it for me.
So let's go ahead and end the poll here. And let's see here. So, guys, the big winner on this poll, 71% of the audience voted new games. 19% larger arcades, 4% better emulation, and 3% product availability. Sorry, Mike.
Oh no, that's fine. I mean,
I
most
know.
people live in the U.S. They don't give a
It
shit
doesn't.
about
I
me.
know. Yeah, it doesn't impact them. But the correct answer to this poll, there were some shenanigans, guys, and Tyler got it right here. $5. Why can't we have it all? Why not do Star Wars trilogy, something like Area 51? It's weak sauce that they keep retracing their steps for years. Come on, Arcade1Up. These are the things that Arcade1Up should be doing. Like, you know, focusing on better emulation so the games have a great experience, product availability to make sure people in Canada, United Kingdom, they have a lot of fans in those two countries get access to these products as well as Australia. And obviously, the larger arcades are a hit. People like the XL. They want the bigger cabs. They're tired of the toys. They want it to still be a toy, but not be the real thing, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. I know there's a lot of elitist people who are like, oh my God, it's real arcades or nothing. But I own real arcades. I own real pinballs, and I own all these toys. There's nothing wrong with owning both. And if anyone is acting like an elitist douchebag out there telling you can't buy it, well, don't listen to them.
Yeah, straightforward sales. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. but it's imperative. And I think the most important thing, new games we haven't seen yet. You guys remember, like, they were bragging, we own like 98% of the licenses that are out there for arcades. If it's an arcade game, we got 98% of the licenses. Well, if you got 98% of the licenses, why have I only seen maybe 15% of the titles Arcade1Up?
Yeah.
Why have I only seen that? You know,
where's Qbert?
If the retailers won't buy them, take a chance, sell them direct. Take a chance, sell them direct. I mean,
how successful was Dragon's Lair? That would be, a good question because that one was direct for a while only.
Yeah.
So, I don't think they've ever really had a lot of super success doing the direct to consumer, and I will say that because eventually most of those cabs, even though they're limited, do end up with some kind of retail release eventually later on, whether it be in Canada or whether it be through Best Buy. So if direct to consumer was a really, a great model for them, which it should be because they get to, sell the cabinets totally at the markup instead of at the retailer price, they'd be doing it more often.
Yeah.
I think what they could do, they could make a black cab and then they ship the decals separately, and you can just apply those.
Stupid idea.
No,
Stupid.
Not a good idea.
And I will tell you, other arcade companies have mentioned it to me about doing it with future cabs. I'm like, don't. It's the stupidest thing iArcade ever did. That Double Dragon sticker.
You're saying
I have a cabinet right now. I have half the art on because I just don't want to put the rest of the art on it.
All right. Well, this was fun. I wanted to get together. I wanted to get you, the viewers, your feedback. You guys gave us that feedback in the live chat. Your response, is Arcade1Up making a comeback? It seems to be a little bit more in favor of a no. Although there's a couple of things the community's excited about. They like Pac-Man XL. They like Time Crisis. Not so much everything else. My dogs. I'm so sorry.
Who let the dogs out?
So anyway, so I had a lot of fun talking about this with all of you guys. I greatly appreciate the community's feedback as well as the help of these guys. Make sure you check out 19K Fox on YouTube. Give him a sub. Kristen Steps on YouTube. Give her a sub. She's at 50 or Steps Gaming. She's at 50.
She's viral, guys. She's viral.
I said I had a viral short. I didn't say viral.
She put out one of those wrestling shorts that got like 10 million views. It
doesn't stop. Every day there's more views. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
So seriously, I never pimp myself. I usually tell people to subscribe to Cool Toy or somebody else, but I'm just about to hit 30,000 subscribers. I'm about 260, 70 away. So if you can do me a favor, do old Mike a solid. He needs it. He's really having a rough day, like with this Arcade1Up not being sold in Canada news. So do me a favor, tell your friends about me.
Yeah, and Michael B. Song. And Michael B. needs pinball money. Also, guys, just a quick heads up. When I hit the end stream, everyone in the live chat, you're going to be automatically sent over to the Arcades Anonymous podcast show. You're going to be automatically redirected there. So just put your feet up, grab a bucket of popcorn, and check those guys out. At least tune in for 10 minutes or so. Give those guys a chance. I like the work they're doing over there on that podcast. If you enjoyed this broadcast, give me a thumbs up on the way out. And as always, my dudes, thank you for subscribing. We'll see you next time. Bye.